What if I told you one of football's most significant titles was born from an original sign? A conquest haunted by an uncomfortable question, whispered for over 2 decades in stadiums and bars. How can a team become champion of a tournament for which, by the sacred rules of the sport, it shouldn't even have been invited? This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the story of the first FIFA Club World Cup, a trophy resting in a Hall of Honor in São Paulo. Yet its legitimacy was forged in the fires of politics, money, and one of football's most controversial decisions. In the next few minutes, you won't just revisit a championship. You'll unravel the mystery of the title that should never have existed. Hold on, because the truth is far more complex than the final score. To understand the enigma, we must rewind to the late 90s. Football was a multi-billion-dollar business, and FIFA, under Joseph Blatter, craved its own Club World Cup. The idea was simple, powerful. Gather continental champions to definitively crown the planet's best. The formula seemed unquestionable. European champion versus South American, Asian, and so on. Mera, conquest. The right to be there, sealed by sweat and glory on their respective pitches. In 1999, South America's champion was clear. Sociedade Esportiva Palmeiras, Libertadores winners, rightfully earning their ticket to the inaugural tournament. Across the ocean, Manchester United, with its galactic squad, reigned as European champions. The stage was set for a clash of titans. Everything seemed clear, fair, logical, until a pen, in an air-conditioned room in Switzerland, changed everything. An extra spot was created, a spot not earned by a continental title, a spot for the host country. And here, the mystery begins to take shape. Why was this spot created? More importantly, who would be chosen to fill it? The host country spot, FIFA claimed, was a courtesy to Brazil. But the choice of team would become an eternal scar on Brazilian football. The Brazilian champion of 1998 and soon 1999 was Sport Club Corinthians, and they were the invited team. For millions of rival fans, invited wasn't the word, it was favoritism. A stroke of the pen, logic shattered. Palmeiras, South American champions, the true deserving occupant of the South American slot, would watch their biggest rival, a team they'd eliminated in the Libertadores itself, entered the tournament through the back door. Imagine, you earned the right to attend the party of the year, but the host also invites your neighbor, who not only won nothing to be there, but will also compete with you for the main prize. The controversy exploded. Why? Corinthians' theories spread like wildfire. The influence of traffic, the sports marketing giant, the power of HMTF, the club's investment partner at the time. Above all, it was seen as a political maneuver to ensure a massively popular team from São Paulo, one of the host cities, participated. FIFA and CBF defended themselves with the regulations they themselves created. But the stain was already there. Corinthians entered the World Cup carrying not just their crest, but the weight of distrust. And this was the perfect hook the story needed. The uncomfortable guests now had the chance to prove on the field that they deserved to be there. And what happened on the field transformed the controversy into an epic. Corinthians didn't flinch. On the contrary, they landed in a group with Real Madrid's Galacticos. Raul, Roberto Carlos, and what should have been a massacre became one of the tournament's most memorable games. A 2-2-2 draw with Capetinha humiliating the Spanish defense and a nation of rival fans watching in disbelief. The guest wasn't joking around. They were there to spoil the party for the real champion. After qualifying for the final on tiebreakers, Destiny crafted the most explosive final script possible. The decision would be against another Brazilian team. Vasco da Gama, 1998, Libertadores champions. At a Maracanã packed with over 70,000 people, on one side and Edmundo on the other, Vampeta Marcelinho and Dida. It was a dream final for the organizers, but a continuing nightmare for football. The game was tense, tight, goalless. The first FIFA Club World Cup final would go to football's cruelest, most dramatic decider. Penalties. Each penalty was a heartbeat. Converts. Romário, Chu, Fernando Baiano, Wigi, Alex Oliveira hits the post. The tension was almost unbearable. Then, the ball goes to the feet of one of that generation's greatest stars. Edmundo. The animal, if he scored, Vasco would stay alive. He runs ... and shoots over the bar. A miss that would haunt him forever. The image of Edmundo standing, staring into nothing, is the portrait of a dream's end. The championship-winning ball was now at the feet of Marcelinho Carioca, the Corinthians' idol. But he also misses. Dida saves. The agony prolongs. Gilberto, from Vasco shoots, and the giant Dida, the Corinthians' saves again. The final chance. Match point. The ball is with Vamp. He just needed to score for the most improbable and controversial script to materialize. He runs, strikes firmly, down the middle. The ball bulges the net. Game over. Sport Club Corinthians Paulista, the invited team. The club that didn't win the Libertadores to be there was the first FIFA Club World Champion. The celebration was black and white, an explosion of joy that echoed across Brazil. But, simultaneously, the silence of controversy settled forever. The trophy was lifted, medals were distributed, but the story didn't end there. In fact, it had just begun. To this day, the 2000 title is used as the ultimate weapon in any bar discussion. For Corinthians fans, it's proof that, invited or not, they defeated giants and conquered the world on merit within the four lines. The regulations allowed it, and they did their part. For rivals, it's the title with an eternal asterisk, a trophy worth less, a Summer Cup, a Fax World Cup. The truth, probably, lies somewhere in the middle. Was it a political maneuver by FIFA? Almost certainly did Corinthians benefit from it, without a doubt. But, once on the field, they asserted themselves and won. The lingering question, which sparks the curiosity that brought us here, is more philosophical. What holds more weight? The merit to enter or the strength to win? That 2000 title isn't just a trophy in a museum, it's a debate. A monument to football's complexity, where passion, politics, and money dance a dangerous tango. So, the next time you hear about the 2000 World Cup, remember, the story you're told largely depends on who's telling it. Was it merit, luck, or the original sin that started it all? The answer, perhaps even FIFA doesn't want to give it.